They never occupied and dominated and conquered Ethiopia totally. And that's because King Menelik understood he needed more than just spirituality, because a lot of the Africans in other parts of Africa, they depended on their spiritual system. But when you're dealing with a group of people like the white supremacists who were not spiritual at all, you're going to lose. So King Menelik, he used his spirituality, but he understood that he had to be practical. So King Menelik, he got guns that rivaled the guns of his enemies. And when the Italians came into Ethiopia to try to defeat him, King Menelik used his guns and used his weaponry to fight them off.
What Ethiopia was able to achieve was nothing short of military genius. They struggled certainly with Italy for maintaining their independence. But I think what they were able to do was to use the land to their advantage. They were able to strategize, and they really outfought the enemy. And they were underestimated, let's face it. I think they were their military power was underestimated.
And so when you had all of this in the psyche of a people, this notion of empire and kingdoms and defending ourselves against the Greek army, the Roman army, the Turkish army, the Persian armies, what's some little rinky-dink Italians? We can handle this, and they handled it.
And when King Menelik in Ethiopia defeated the Italians, what's interesting, the Western media started to portray King Menelik as a white man. So this man was clearly a black African brother. There was pictures of him in the whole nine, but the Western media started to show cartoons and images of him as being white because they didn't want to let the world see that the European had been defeated by this African man.
Hello friends and family, back again with a brand new edition. I want to say a very big thank you to all my subscribers. If today is your first time joining us on this platform, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to like and leave a comment down below. Today is all about the Battle of ADWA that happened in Ethiopia between the Italians and the Ethiopians. The Battle of ADWA was the climactic battle of the First Italo-Ethiopian War. The Ethiopian forces defeated the Italian invading forces on Sunday, 1st March 1896, near the town of ADWA. The decisive victory touted the campaign of the Kingdom of Italy to expand its colonial empire in the Horn of Africa. And this happened exactly 126 years ago. The victory of the Battle of ADWA is something that the Italians will never forget in a hurry. Not just the Italians, because when that whole battle was going on, the Western world, the whole Western world was watching. Because the whole of Africa has been colonized already. They were waiting for Ethiopia to be under that same rule. But Ethiopians stood up and said no. Because for the Western world, the only language they understand is take, 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 take. They like to take from Africa, but Ethiopians stood up and said no. They fought them back. This whole battle and everything just taught us something. Unity is the greatest weapon anyone can ever use. When you come together to fight a common enemy, you will always succeed. Ethiopia is a great nation. Ethiopia has always been victorious. Even when they tried different methods and everything, they still came out victorious. Most people will argue and say, oh, maybe it was the weapons they used or something. It was not just the weapon. God was on their side, and their strategy, the unity, the togetherness. When people come together to fight a common goal, they will always succeed. That's why you hardly see a single bee moving around. If a single bee is moving around, it's bound to fall into some prey to other animals or so. But if they move in pack, you hear that noise. People get scared of it. That was what Ethiopians did. The collectiveness of different cultures and everything together came to fight a common enemy. They resisted them and everything went smoothly. After the whole battle, you can imagine the white people tried to paint Menelik white because they were ashamed to say that they were defeated by a black man. They started painting caricature images of him so to say, but the fact remained the fact. They lost to the Ethiopians. I just want to pass this message out there. Love should be the key thing we should be talking about. Unity, peace will give us strength. In the educational system today in Africa, they don't talk about the victories in Africa or anything. They mostly teach us about the Western world. Most people in school in other African countries didn't even know about the Battle of ADWA, and which is very, 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 very wrong. The whole African country has been whitewashed to the extent that we don't even know our own cultural heritage. Ethiopia has set a standard for the black people, for the African people. They defeated the Italians. Even with the high weaponry and everything they had, Ethiopians were still successful. That is to show you the level of power that they had at that time. And even now, when the country had crisis recently, the whole white media and everybody was saying, oh this, oh that. They are trying to do the whole divide and rule to scatter the country and create a division so they can go in. That's what they do. But irrespective of anything, your brother, your sister should come first. And who are your brothers and sisters? Look to your left, look to your right. Your neighbors are your brothers and sisters. Love should rule. The fact that Ethiopia was never colonized is still a great topic today in the Western world. Recently, Ethiopia was everywhere. Everybody was talking about Ethiopia, and they were trying to blacklist the whole country, giving them a bad name and everything. Go to the internet now, just write Ethiopia. You'll see the first picture you see. Everything just trying to paint the country black, trying to say the country is not good. But if you definitely go to Ethiopia, my brother, my sisters, this country is beautiful. Ethiopia is a country full of greens. Ethiopians are lovely people, wonderful people. The country, like I said before, just give the country 5 to 10 years. It will be like the Dubai of Africa. They have great infrastructures that are going on right now. A lot of things are going on right now in Ethiopia. Big buildings, many infrastructures. Like they always say, all countries are struggling. Ethiopia might not be perfect now, but growth takes time. But even at that, it's just like a family. If a father and a mother fight at home, they should resolve their issues at home. Outsiders should not be the one to resolve the issues of a family. Because when outsiders come into the issue, they tend to create division. When Ethiopia had a conflict recently, the Western media tried to do their thing and everything, thereby creating more confusion. And that led to the No More movement. And they stood their ground once again and said, no, we don't want the Western media to say anything. You do your thing and let us do ours. And I was so proud of the Ethiopian people. When two countries are fighting, when nations and nations are fighting, or communities are fighting, they tend to deviate their mind from some important issues, thereby creating distractions for outsiders to get in. So, for those that have never visited Ethiopia before, try to visit Ethiopia. Don't let what the media say fool you. Go there for yourself, see the country for yourself, and you will see that this country is a place you want to be. The weather is nice, the people are nice, everything there is so unique and nice. Ethiopia is forever great, irrespective of what anyone say. There's a country I admire so much. That's why I talk a lot about Ethiopia. There's a lot to learn from these people. There's a lot to gain from these people. Ethiopia will forever be great.